How does it feel like sometimes when other people launch businesses, they just take off like a rocket, but maybe you feel like you're just kind of running in place or you're just running into brick wall after brick wall? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can build businesses that take off like a rocket as well, instead of being frustrated by standing in place, and how I did it. My name is Andy Stickle, and my businesses collectively do tens of millions of dollars every single year. And I created this YouTube channel to show you how I did it so you can do it too. So I was recently at a Dan Kennedy event, and I heard him say that growing a business is really just about psychological manipulation. And I think that's kind of a funny thing to say because it sounds like it's kind of evil. And there's plenty of people out there that do use these powers that I'm about to teach you for evil. But I encourage you to use them for good, because as long as you have a product that helps people, a product that benefits people, then I believe that you have a moral obligation to sell that product to as many people as possible. Now, Dan is not wrong. Growing a business is all about psychology. It's about understanding the fears, wants, and desires of your customers. And once you understand these things, then you can customize your messaging and tailor your messaging specifically to address these fears, wants, and desires. Now, the most important thing that you can do at any phase of the business, whether it's pre-purchase, during the sales process, and post-purchase, and even after they're not a customer anymore, is research. You should always be researching your customers to figure out what they fear, what they desire, and what they want. And it's important to do this at all phases of your business. Before you even create a product, you should be doing research. Before you sell the product, you should be doing research. After they buy the product, you should be doing research. And then once they're no longer a customer, if you're a business where customers can fire you, you need to be doing research afterwards to figure out why they left. For example, a couple of years ago, I had an idea for a software. It was going to be a software that solved one of my clients' biggest problems, review generation. There's so many times that I talk to lawyers and I say, you need more reviews. You need more Google reviews, because social proof is what makes people pick up the phone and actually call you. But over and over again, I kept hearing, I asked my clients for reviews, but they just won't leave them. So I figured, okay, that's a great software. That's a great problem for me to solve. But I knew building software was expensive. So I didn't want to pay out of pocket to build this software, because first of all, I didn't even know if anybody was going to buy it. So the worst thing that you can do is waste hundreds of thousands of dollars, and more importantly, waste months and months of effort building something that people don't want. So the first thing I had to do is I had to figure out, do people even want this product? So my plan was to do a webinar, and on that webinar, I would make an offer where I would sell a lifetime subscription to anybody that pre-ordered the software before it was even built. And it was completely disclosed that the software was not ready and that they were basically founding members who were helping me build the software. And that's why they got lifetime membership for a ridiculously low price. Now, the reason I did this webinar was twofold. The first was to fund the software, but the second was to research and see, would people even buy this thing? Are people even interested? Because if they didn't buy on the webinar, then I would have saved myself tons of time and tons of money wasted by creating something that people don't want. So before launching the webinar to sell the product, I needed to figure out what were the features that people wanted in the product, because I didn't want to create a product that had features that people didn't want. And the easiest way to sell something to someone is to figure out what they want and sell them that. So I started by sending an email to my list about review generation. And I didn't ask them questions about what do you want to see in a software, but instead I wanted to find out their fears, wants, and desires about reviews. I wanted to find out specifically, why did they think that reviews were important? What was holding them back from getting reviews? And what did they want to avoid at all costs when it comes to reviews? And I'm really glad I sent this survey out, because what I found is that most lawyers don't ask their clients for reviews because they're afraid of getting a negative review. I hadn't even thought of that. And had I not done this survey and surveyed my audience, I never would have thought to make that a feature. So when I was creating the features of the software, it was as simple as going through and categorizing all of the desires, fears, and wants that came back in the survey, and then turning those into the features of the product. So now I know for certain that I have a product that actually addresses the fears, wants, and desires of the intended market. So using that information that I got from the survey, I was able to build the features of the software, and then I ran the webinar and offered the software, which I sold about 50 units of at $1,000 a piece. So now I have $50,000 of seed money that I can use to start building this software. But more importantly, I know what features people want. I know what their fears are. I know what their wants are. I know what their desires are when it comes to reviews. But even more important than that, I have proof that people will pull their credit card out and pay for this software. That is all I need to move forward and start building an amazing product. Now, what about the people that didn't buy the software? Well, I didn't just ignore them. I actually reached out to them as well. And I sent them another survey with different questions asking why they opted to not buy the software. And using those answers, I was able to tailor my messaging and also tailor certain features of the software to include them as well. And several of them, after I told them that, okay, we made these changes to the software, are you interested now? Several of them then came back and bought again. So we ended up raising about $75,000 before we wrote a single line of code, simply by asking people what do they want and then delivering that to them. So the next group of people that you want to survey is people who have already bought your products, and you want to figure out why they bought and what you can do to improve your service and improve your product in the future. And that's how you're always growing. So for example, I have a supplement company and I just started calling random people who purchased the product. I asked them questions about the symptoms that caused them to buy. I asked them about their buying experience. I asked them what they hated about our website, what they loved about our website, what they hated about the product, what they loved about the product. I asked them about the packaging. I asked them about the delivery. I asked them about the shipping. I asked them about every single aspect of the business. And the reason why I asked them about every single aspect of their experience is because by doing so, I was able to get feedback from the customer's point of view, not from my point of view. Because when we look at our business is our baby and we don't see things. We're blind to problems. We're blind to the weaknesses of our businesses. But our customers will tell us the truth. And there is no benefit of being blind to the truth. What you need to do is stare the truth right in the eyes. That way you can fix any problems. There's a great book called Hug Your Haters. And in that book, Jay Baer says, in order to get more 5-star reviews, you have to get more 1-star reviews. And what that means is that in order to have a better overall experience at the end of the day, you have to figure out what are the problems, and you have to identify the problems and the thoughts that your clients and your customers have. Once you see the experience through your customer's point of view, then you can take their feedback and you can use it to improve your business. And now the final way that I survey people, which is usually the most painful way, but the most valuable way to improve my business and ultimately grow my business even bigger and provide a better experience for my customers and my clients, is I interview people who returned the product or who fired my marketing agency. And yeah, it sucks. It stings when people fire you or people return your product and say your product isn't good. But those people are the people that you can learn the most from. I try to reach out to every single client that fires our agency and set up a Zoom call and just ask them questions about their experience. What did they like? What did they hate? Why did they leave us? What were their results? What was my team like? What things can we do better in the future? What do we do well? And 99 out of 100 times, I don't end up saving the client. However, what I do learn is valuable insight that allows me to prevent future refunds and prevent future clients from leaving. This information is so critical and it is essential if you want to continue growing your business and scaling your business. Because when you take that information and use it to improve your business, everyone has a better experience. So in the end, growing a business really isn't that difficult. Most people make it more complicated because they're not paying attention to the data. If you ask your customers these questions, then you will get all the information that you need to grow a thriving business. All you have to do is continuously ask your customers questions, listen to what they say, and then this is the most important part, implement changes to improve your business based on customer feedback. If you do that, you will be wildly successful, and I guarantee you will double, triple, quadruple your business, probably even bigger. I hope this video helps you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.